Hey everyone, welcome back to Ricksaw. Today we're building this super simple clamp rack. Enough storage for all the F-style clamps that we used to have here and additional storage as we continue to grow the channel and the workshop. I've been busy reorganizing the workshop. I've got a new cabinet, drawer cabinet going in here, very similar to the design there. I've reoriented the workbench. This used to be in the middle of the workshop. Now it's off to the side, doing some table saw planning as well as some piped in dust collection. As a result of these changes, I have relooked at this wall over here. Now I have myself some clamps set up and I'll throw in a close-up of that here. But what I found out is that I found myself stacking clamps on top of each other, and that's not an ideal situation for me. So what we're going to do today is we are building a new clamp rack. First order of business, I have my 18 gauge brad nailer. I've got some glue, screws, and safety glasses, and we're going to get into the build right now. I've used the drill press in the back to drill out the holes, and then I just cut the grooves on the table saw. Didn't use a dado stacker or anything, just drilled them out first and then cut them on the sled. For this particular piece, I've ripped it to 1.5, and it's going to be an additional support piece on the bottom of the clamp rack. And then this piece is going to go on the back, and I'll show you that in a second. And then I just cut a 45-degree angle on a 5.5 by 6 inch piece of plywood, and that is going to butt up next to it like this. All right, pretty simple, straightforward. It's a modified version of craigtool.com's clamp rack plans, and I'll link that in the description below. Without further ado, let's get moving on the build. First thing I'm going to do is a bead of glue on this back support piece and butt it up to the bottom of the clamp rack, and then brad nail it in place and then set it with some screws. I'm going to clap this piece to my workbench. All right, now that we have that piece nailed in place, what I'll do now is reinforce it with some screws. Now that I have all of that set up, I'm going to flip it over on my workbench and clamp this support piece to it as well. Now this is just some additional support that's going to fasten with the support piece on the back, and this is what I'm going to go ahead and screw into the wall or attach a French cleat to, but I think I'm going to mount this directly to the wall into the studs. All right, so I'm going to apply some glue to this as well. Want this to be solid. Clamps can be heavy. Have a scrap to spread the glue around. Fasten it with some brads and then come back and screw it in. And I'm going to make sure I place the screws in the meat of the clamp rack. All right, so here's the structure that we have so far. I have a back support connected to the clamp storage area. And then I have an additional support supporting that clamp holder as well. And then to finish it off, I've made these brackets and the side. Okay, gonna add some glue and screws to finish it off. All right, so now we're getting ready to mount the new clamp rack on the wall. One of the benefits of this French cleat tool panel is that I don't have to take everything off of the wall. I can simply take the entire panel, lift it off of the one French cleat that it's on, and then set it off to the side, move my French cleat, and then install my new clamp rack. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, super simple. Everything is maintained on there. I'm gonna take this French cleat and move it across the wall here, and then put my panel over here. All right, now that we have the clamp rack installed, let's go ahead and move all of the clamps off of our workbench and onto the clamp rack. All right, so as you can see, all of our clamps fit nicely on the rack. A lot more storage than we had in the past, and we have room for expansion. So all good things. If you like what you see and you stuck around this long, please give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And thanks again for watching. See you next time.